Someone who knows all about the heat in the state of Florida is the general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, kind enough to join us here in a very busy time. Jason Licht, good to see you, Jason. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Well, I heard part of your press conference, even though I'm sitting here on this set. You were with who when you learned Mike Evans re-signed with your team? Who were you with, Jason? What?
So John Cooper, the head coach of the Lightning here in town, has become good friends with he and his wife, with me and my wife.
Okay.
And phenomenal guy. And he had a charity event Sunday night, rooftop of a hotel downtown. So Blair and I my wife and I snuck out. And we're still kind of ongoing here with Mike and his representatives on the contract. And as I was standing at the bar with Wayne Gretzky, in between Wayne Gretzky and David Wells, of all people.
Wow.
It was, and I listening to them tell stories about in their prime. It's, let's just say I probably could have hung with them for a couple days, but maybe not a couple weeks. But I had to go outside, take the phone call, got conferenced in. We agreed to terms with Mike, and I came back in and was fist pumping and hugging my wife. And they said, "What's going on?" I said, "Well, I just agreed to terms with Mike Evans." And the great one said, "Oh, that's a great one."
Ah,
hey,
yeah.
Nice.
Okay. You knew that already, but to get it from the great one, I mean, that's the ultimate.
It's pretty surreal. I've never met Wayne Gretzky before. I've run into David Wells a few times here in town, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet so. And by the way, obviously, if you wanted to have a cold one and to celebrate something like Mike Evans re-signing, I cannot imagine David Wells being a better individual to, crack one open with.
We had a few. We had a few pre and then during and post.
So congratulations on that. Obviously, everyone knows how good Mike Evans is, but what he means to you and your community and your organization as well. So why do you? I'll let you take the floor as to why that was so important for you to make sure that Mike stays with your team.
Well, he's such an extraordinary player. He's done some unprecedented things. He does every game, but every year, 10 straight years of 1,000 yards. It's amazing. And it seems like down here in Tampa a little bit, just because of the market, we're a little bit get forgotten about. And it wasn't until this year, I think that, for doing it 10 straight years, it finally hit, kind of went global, and everybody realized how good Mike is. And so, and as great of a player he is, he's even better off the field, him and his wife, Ashley, with their foundation and what he means to so many kids. He's such a role model. It's the first domino that needed to fall. And in this year, building our team. It was very important to us, and he's just means so much to me personally as well. But that's beside the point. What he means to the fan base and to the organization is what's important.
Well, I mean, the next domino that everyone assumes that you needed to set up to tumble into that domino with the Mike Evans signing is, of course, Baker Mayfield. That was the general assumption of, okay, that's one way to suggest to the guy who came in and you gave the opportunity to, and boy, did he knock the door through, that you mean business to keep everything on the up and up. Is that a safe assumption?
Well, it certainly helps. We definitely want Baker back. We're working through things right now. The player always has an option too, so it's got to work out for him, and want to give him the respect of making decision what's best for him too. So, but I know he wants to be here. I know we want him. It's just a matter of us trying to work through things. We always have to prepare for both scenarios. Hopefully we're not going down, behind door number 2. Hopefully we keep him with door number 1, but I don't want to take anything for granted with him. He's got to make a decision, and as well as we do.
So there are other teams in on him right now, Jason?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm sure he's a good player. I'm sure there's other teams that would like to have his services. We pride ourselves here on being pretty good evaluators, but I don't think we're the only ones that think he's a good player. So I'm sure there's other teams that would want him to play quarterback as well.
No, and obviously, listen, I don't want you to reveal anything you're uncomfortable revealing, and of course give away negotiating positions and things of that nature, Jason. But what's your timeline? You want to do it before windows open up for everybody on Monday? You want to do it over the weekend? What do you need? What are you thinking for yourself? What'd you like?
Well, ideally, I'd like to do it before things open up on Monday. But if it has to go to there, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's gone. I'd like to hope at least not. But we'd like to. We're not going to press the panic button, and neither are they, I'm sure, on their end to rush anything right now.
What do you think worked so well from your end last year for him to come in the circumstances in which he arrived, and then obviously put you in a position to maybe knock out the Detroit Lions so close in that divisional playoff game, Jason?
I think his whole persona and that giant frickin' chip he's got on his shoulder at all times meshed perfectly with our team, and just the general consensus feeling that our team had is being forgotten about. Like I said, we're kind of in witness protection down here sometimes, and people felt like forgot about us and didn't pay attention to us and didn't realize that we actually do have a pretty good team and good coaching and great organization. And I think that his chip and our team's chip meshed well together, and I think that's kind of what did it, what made us stay together.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a special guy to always be the guy after the guy. Certainly when the previous guy was named Tom Brady, for crying out loud, and that's not an easy role to step into and succeed in. But that's now twice, though, in this interview you've been mentioning that you're not mentioned enough, or I shouldn't put it that way. You're not mentioned with the respect you deserve down in Tampa. What do you mean by that, Jason?
No, I just think we've got some great players down here. Mike, we talked about Mike. We've got Lavonte David. Hopefully he remains a Buck. We're trying to work through that too. And I think in some other markets, they would be, a little bit more well known and would get the notoriety that they deserve. So I love it the way it is. It's it gives, like I said, that chip comes out in you, and the lower expectations sometimes work in your favor. So we got a phenomenal fan base, and living in Tampa is a dream. I can't see myself living in any other city. So it's nothing against Tampa. I just think sometimes we just get forgotten about.
Yeah. Did I see you call out one of the NFL media colleagues, Connor Orr, at the Combine for how he predicted you finished? Did you go? Are you taking notes? Do you have like lists in that office there, Jason? Are you writing down names?
I have a family that is really into it, and I think that's very important in this business. And
they're out there. They're taking down notes as to who thinks your team's not good.
Including myself. We have a receipt box at home. So Connor predicted us to win 2 games last year, and that one kind of stood out. I pinned it up on my wall here in the office.
Is Sapp out there helping you with the receipt department? Because that seems to be his forte. Sapp would be one of those guys.
Yeah, well, he's the phone call away. I can tell you that.
Jason Light here on the Rich Eisen Show. You mentioned Lavonte David. Who else from the championship years of recent memory are you trying to stick and stay with this team right now? Who else from your fan base that won it all with these players that you'd like to stick around, that you're working on, that you're willing to share, Jason?
Well, we franchised Antoine Winfield, who I think is a phenomenal player in this league, one of the better defensive players, yet alone safeties in the league, and that's with the intent to get a long-term deal done. So we started to work on one. We just kind of ran out of time up till the deadline, so we'd like to continue to work on that and have him here long-term. We'd like to work on a long-term deal with Tristan Wirfs, who's one of the best tackles in the league. We would like to get Lavonte back. So we've got a number of players. I'm forgetting about some right now.
Sure.
But we'd like to have back. And I just feel like, they'll get their due. It's once these deals get done, if they get done, that, people realize we got pretty good players down here, and we've got pretty good staff and coaches and scouts and front office that have done a nice job putting this team together.
Couple minutes left with Jason Licht, Tampa Bay Buccaneers general manager, drafting 26th overall. How does one plan to draft in the bottom third of an NFL draft order, Jason?
Well, fortunately, we were just meeting about it again the other day, going through the scenarios of what could be there. And I think this is a really good draft this year. I think there's a lot of good players. I know you hear that's kind of general manager cliche, but this year I feel like it's kind of the same as it was last year. We started to get excited what's going to be there at the bottom of 1 and the bottom of 2. So, fortunately, there's a lot of players that we have a lot of needs on our team, so we'll be able to go best available. We've talked about some scenarios of moving back and collecting picks. We've talked about 1 or 2 guys that we'd love to go up and get too. So still early in this process. We've got some holes to fill. We know that, but that's kind of the exciting part about it. As far as we made it this last year, that we still know that we've got some holes that we need to fill.
When do you usually get a phone ringing from a colleague of yours, or you ring another colleague's phone to talk about these trades? And are we still too early right now?
We're still way too early. So Sometimes they don't come until Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon of the draft.
That's wild. I mean,
so a lot of people wonder what you're doing on draft day, like Thursday. The haze in the barn per se. So on Thursday morning last year, I was had a leaf blower out blowing leaves from my pool deck and walking the dog. So it wasn't like the movie Draft Day where I was doing last minute recon, finding out that a player didn't have anybody show up at his birthday party. But the rest of that movie was pretty good.
I like it. Did you have that in your pocket, Tristan Wirfs, no matter what, a couple years ago? Did you have that, Jason?
You know what? No, I did not, but I did have Mike Evans no matter what that first year.
I bet. No doubt about that. Okay. And so before I let you go, so much conversation going on about kickoffs and what's going to be going on with maybe onside kicks or having a different, I guess, spring league versions of kickoffs. Where do you stand on this subject matter, Jason?
I'm not educated enough on it right now to really have a real true opinion on it. I just want to know, what is it going to be, number one, and then what do we have to do to take advantage of it and the best that we can. So I would like to see if it's across the board, a level playing field, and we're forced to return kicks.
Yeah,
I think that's great. And let's try to go out and get the best person available to take advantage of it.
Okay, then let me go about it this way. You could wave a wand and have the competition committee place in front of membership and have membership approve. The rule would be what, Jason? You could make it happen.
You're putting me on the spot here.
What do you got? Come on, you got to have one.
I'm worried about signing our players back here right now. I'll leave that up to the special teams coaches.
Okay. All right. I'm just about any rule in general. I was just trying to go on that front. No? Okay, good enough. Did you see Baker get in the cage with Aaron Judge? Did you see that one, Jason? Did you see that?
I heard about it. I did.
Okay. That hasn't been part of
it. I didn't see it. How'd he fare?
Oh, look at the stance. I mean, look at that. Did you know he's lefty? He hits lefty. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Look at that.
Look at that elbow. Look at that perfect 90-degree ankle right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the Yankees are down there in Tampa, right? I don't know if the Rays
right across the street,
street from you. So I don't know. Is that again? Don't reveal the negotiations. Is he threatening to be like Deion, Bo Jackson? Is that what's happening right now? Is that part?
That hasn't come up yet.
Okay,
that hasn't come up yet. We'll cross that bridge.
We can confirm that. Very good, Jason. Thanks for the time, man. It was a pleasure always running into you and having you on this show. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Likewise.
Best of luck. Best of luck being present as a dad and a husband over the next 90 hours, Jason. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
You got it, brother. That's Jason Licht, the GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right here on the Rich Eisen Show, and he's negotiating with my boy right now. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.